Welcome viewers, this is Mimi. Today I'm going to be making a basket to sit up on the counter using the same fabric that I used when making these cloth napkins. In an earlier video I showed you how easy it was to make your own cloth napkins. So I had some scraps left over from that, and I thought it'd be neat to make a basket to sit up on the countertop to hold just about anything. I'm just going to put some vegetables in it that don't need to be refrigerated. But all you need is scrap material, clothesline rope, and it needs to be the polyester clothesline. I got this from Lowe's. This is a 1/4 inch thick, so it'll make a nice sturdy basket. And you just need a sewing machine. It's so easy to sew using a zigzag stitch, and I will give you complete step-by-step instructions on how to make a beautiful basket using scrap fabric. Okay, first step is cutting the fabric into 1.5 inch strips. So I use a rotary and a mat. Just does it a little faster this way, and cut the fabric into long strips. I need to get a new blade. So you're going to cut all your fabric, scrap fabric pieces into 1.5 inch strips. And then I'll show you what to do next. It does help if you have a really sharp blade, it goes faster. Okay, a little tip when sewing your strips together, lay them out like this, where one is this way and the other strip is down. I take my finger and just finger iron it down like this and make a crease, pop it open, and then sew it straight across. So therefore you have a nice slanted seam line, which will wrap around the clothesline very nicely. All right, let's get sewing. Okay, now I'm going to trim off the threads on all my strips. They've all been sewn together, and trim off some of this and then press it open. So for every seam, I go through, trim, clip off the threads, and press. So it'll be nice and flat when you start wrapping your clothesline. So put on a movie, put on some music. This takes a little while. Okay, I've taken my strips now that they're all cut, and I've wrapped them into round balls. And taking the clothesline, I wrapped my base strip fabric around the tip, and then I'm going to start coiling it around just like this. And I would wrap it about every 6 inches. If you go too far, it comes unraveled at the end. And you can use a clothespin right here to hold it while you start making your coil. But you're going to coil it around like this. Then you're going to take your sewing machine and put it right here in the middle and start doing a zigzag stitch, catching both pieces of clothesline, covered clothesline. And you're going to just sew around, and then you'll add a little bit more strips of fabric, coil, sew around, and do it again. You just repeat this process, and it's going to get wider and wider. So let me show you how to sew that. Okay, so I've sewn the started the base with the round coil, zigzagging around and around as I turn it. I've got about 6 inches here with the clothespin on the end to hold it in place, and I'll show you how I stitch it together. Just using a zigzag stitch, you're going to catch 2 coils together. easy. I'm just turning it very slowly. And you're going to continue that, stopping, adding more fabric to the clothesline. And then you'll sew again and then add more fabric until you build up the base as big as you want your bowl. Then I'll show you the next step. Once I've got my bowl base set, I'll show you the next step is where we curve and make it into a bowl. Okay, I've been sewing for a little while and I have a nice round, probably about an 8-inch base. And so now I want the walls to start curling up in the bowl. So basically what you do is you just lift up your whole flap and you just start sewing around. And you keep holding it up like that and it will start to curve and make a bowl. So at this point, instead of being flat, you're going to hold this up and it will start curling. Same steps going all the way around. Okay, finished sewing the rope bowl. Turned out pretty nice, a little bigger than I thought, but I like it. And to finish it off, I coiled a little bit more rope by itself, just like I did the bottom. And then I'm going to hot glue it. I probably could sew it, but I don't want to mess up my machine. I'm going to hot glue it on the front just for a decorative look. So put some hot glue on it and stick it on the bowl. Hold it for a few seconds. And you've got a nice bowl. I'm going to fill this one up with snacks for the grandbabies when they come over. I didn't use all the rope, so that roll would have made a really big basket. But there it is. Let me fill it up with some snacks. Some blueberry muffins and some cookies. Every time my grandkids come over, the first thing they say is, "I'm hungry, Mimi." So, I'm going to fill it up and leave it on the counter, and it matches the napkins that I made. I think it turned out great. You should try it. It's pretty fun. Hope you liked it. Thanks.